live through. And if things go according to my projections, 2025 will be even more difficult than 2024. But I've got an interesting summary for you here and some other news. The most important realizations of 2023, we're going to go through some of those. And then I think in another podcast, I'll do the most important trends for 2024. And I've got another list of the biggest media lies of 2023, such as the claim that Ukraine is winning, or that men can become women, or there's no inflation, that the border is secure, things like that. We'll cover that, I think, another time. But to start out today here, I want to play the trailer for you for an upcoming film called Civil War. And this movie, which is apparently going to be released in April, and it stars Kirsten Dunst and Nick Offerman and some others here. This movie, as you'll see in the trailer, it depicts a scenario where 19 states have seceded from the Union, and where the U.S. military is carrying out strikes, bombings against civilians, and murdering journalists, which I guess in this film, probably the Democrats are still in control in Washington, because those are exactly the kinds of things they would do. So unlike the first Civil War, which was North versus South, the Civil War is East versus West. And as you'll see in this trailer, Texas and California are together with the Western states. I guess that means that rural California finally defeated the left coast of California. And the Patriots are in charge. And so the Western states are tired of the tyranny, and they're tired of the censorship and the complete abandonment of the rule of law that's been run by the Democrats and by Washington, D.C., which is totally corrupt, rigging elections, printing money to oblivion, and so on and so forth. Check out this trailer, see what you think. I don't know if this film is, pro-liberty. I doubt it. I mean, it's a Hollywood, mainstream Hollywood film. I think the key actors here are almost all left-wing, liberals, and they probably hate the Constitution, and they hate the Second Amendment, and they hate the First Amendment. They probably all hate Trump. I mean, this is not, I'm not endorsing this movie. I'm just saying that this has become such a hot topic, or it's on the minds of everybody now, that Hollywood is making a movie that may be foreshadowing events to come very soon, perhaps in the next 2 years. So take a look, see what you think. The United States Army ran the President assures the uprising will be dealt with swiftly. Let me have no change. I guess we're just like pretty huge or I'd stay out. What we see out there is like it's pretty fast. Citizens of America, these so-called Western forces of Texas and California have suffered a very great defeat in the hands of the United States military. primary theme of that Civil War movie, which is that, well, at least from my point of view, Democrats are utterly incompatible with democracy, which of course is ironic because democracy is the term from which Democrats derive their party label, right? Democrats, obviously, supposedly democracy, but they don't. They don't believe in the First Amendment, and they certainly don't believe in fair elections. They're removing Trump from the ballots. They're calling it real campaign. Many other states are working on that too. They're just going to say, allowed to vote for Trump. Screw democracy. You're going to vote for whoever we tell you to vote for, just like you're going to take whatever jabs we order you to take. It's like New York, the Supreme Court of New York State has ordered that they can come round you up at any time in your home at gunpoint if they think you might have been exposed to something that they claim is a public health threat, and they can take you to a quarantine camp and exterminate you. I mean, the Supreme Court ruled that that's all legal. They can keep you, hold you in there indefinitely, which is a death sentence. This is all, it's already been ruled by the Supreme Court of New York, by the way. So in this tweet, I'm also talking about the open border invasion of the United States. But here it is. This is what I posted. And it got a massively positive reaction on Telegram. I got 226 votes of 100, 100%. That was the primary vote there from my audience. So if you want to follow me on Telegram, by the way, it's Real Health Ranger. Real Health Ranger. There we go. Here it is. Quote, the recent action of removing Trump from the ballots in Colorado and Maine proves that Democrats are incompatible with democracy. They claim they need to save democracy by destroying its very foundation, the citizens' right to vote for whatever representative they want. America simply cannot survive with Democrats in power. They are no longer even hiding their hatred for the foundations of this constitutional republic. Just as they despise honest elections, they have no tolerance for the First Amendment and freedom of speech. Democrats have become tyrants, authoritarians, and active pro-insurrectionists and traitors. The only way America survives is if Democrats are defeated and removed from power. Whatever you do in 2024, vote to remove Democrats from power, or you won't have a country remaining for much longer. We've nearly reached the end game in all this. And as I predicted for many years now, 2025 will likely be the last year of the existence of the United States of America as currently structured. No one in Washington, D.C. will close the border, stop the money printing, or pull us back from the brink of World War III. America is on a suicide path, and Democrats are leading the charge to our shared destruction. So that leads us to point number one here today of my list of the most important realizations of 2023. Point number one is that Democrats are incompatible with democracy. Democrats have taken off their masks. They've stopped pretending that they support civil liberties or human rights or fair and free elections or open and honest debate. They've stopped pretending about all that. They now say, you must obey us or we will destroy you. Obey or we'll criminalize you, we'll throw you in jail like they did with all the J6 peaceful protesters, or they're trying to, of course, criminalize Trump and throw Trump on the ballot. And they're doing the same thing to Trump supporters, like look at the legal harassment of Alex Jones or Roger Stone or now Mayor Giuliani. It just goes on and on. Democrats are tyrants. They are utterly incompatible with democracy. And any person out there who votes for a Democrat is voting for a suicide pact for America. And you're voting for the total destruction of your own country. Now, I'm not saying the GOP is all roses either, by the way. I mean, look at Nikki Haley, for example. This is like, another globalist now. Well, we have the female variety of the globalists controlled, anti-American, so-called, quote, conservative. But she'll push gun control, she'll push abortions, she'll push open borders, she'll push money printing. Nikki Haley is, the worst possible GOP candidate other than John McCain. Thank God he's already dead. But I wouldn't be surprised if they try to dig up his corpse and try to have John McCain run for president again, like Weekend at Bernie's, just pop him up, I'm John McCain. And then, of course, the voters would be confused because they wouldn't be able to tell the difference between a living Joe Biden and a dead corpse of John McCain because they talk the same. I mean, it would be so confusing for the voters. What would they do? But I think, wouldn't that be just the ultimate, perfect commentary on the end of this falling empire? Is to have the animated corpse of John McCain run for president as the head of the GOP. Because I'm sure, what's her name? Ronna McDaniel, was that her name? The head of the GOP, the RNC. I'm sure she would support that. No doubt in my mind. Just run a corpse. Yeah, why not? Oh, you can't have Trump back, because he wants to build a wall, he wants to deport all the illegals, he wants to force out the wars with Russia and China. Can't have that. Run a corpse instead. Yeah, I can see the slogan right now. Vote for this dead president for your dying nation. Yeah, there you go. It's the campaign slogan. And the sad part is, there's a whole lot of Republicans that will go along with that. But John McCain, he was such a nice man. He was a good military man. We're going to vote for the corpse of McCain. Well, he said he believes in Jesus. We're going to vote for him. Yeah, you notice that too. 2023 was the year that I realized that a lot of people who claim to believe in the Bible, or believe in Jesus, or believe in God, they're faking it. They don't believe in any of that stuff. They actually believe in genocide and bombing and killing innocent women and children. They don't follow Christ at all. Man, this was a real wake-up call for me to realize, how many Christians were just all in favor of mass murder. Gosh, now it doesn't change my faith. It doesn't change my relationship with Christ or my understanding of our Creator. But it does make me a lot more wary of people who claim to follow the Bible. I tell you what, that's raising red flags for me for a lot of people right now. They claim, the Bible gave me permission to do this and that. Oh, really? I'm not sure you're reading it correctly. And, even though this wasn't on my list, 2023 was the year that I realized a whole lot of the independent media absolutely support genocide under the right circumstances, as long as it's the right party and the right people. They totally support genocide. Even though they claim to support human rights and they're anti-abortion, but they don't mind certain children getting bombed and slaughtered by the tens of thousands, as long as it's just the right people for them. Wow, what a big realization. All right, moving on. 2023 was also the year that I think a lot more people realize the dollar will collapse. This is the year that de-dollarization really got some traction. And this is the year that the world, or the nations of the world, really abandoned the dollar in a lot of their own trade, international settlements. And the dollar is dying. And we see it domestically with food inflation, rising prices in consumer goods, and so on. Now, gas prices are temporarily low right now, but that won't last long with all the action in the Middle East. The dollar is collapsing. The money printing has gone insane. We've crossed really $34 trillion in national debt now. And how much is it in terms of unfunded liabilities? It's like $190 trillion at this point, something. It almost doesn't matter because it's all going to collapse. But this is the year that a lot more people realize the dollar is doomed. Because it's going to be abandoned. It's in the process of being abandoned by the rest of the world. And we've lost Saudi Arabia, thanks to the Democrats and Joe Biden. We've lost the Saudis. The Saudis are going to sell oil in the ruble, in the yuan, in the rupee. They're not going to demand dollars any longer. And by the way, the BRICS Plus nations, that definition expands later on this month. So 2024 will be the year that the BRICS currencies really begin to take over the world. And it's the year that the dollar collapse accelerates at the critical pace. Now, the dollar may not totally collapse in the next year. It might take a couple more years. But you're going to see a drastic drop in the purchasing power of the dollar throughout 2024. I would not be surprised. Personally, if the dollar loses, let's say, 50% of its purchasing power in the next 12 months, I wouldn't be surprised. Especially in certain areas like food, for example. Maybe that wouldn't be the case in every area. For example, housing prices are coming down in certain areas. And, because so many people are running out of money, there'll be fewer people people buy vehicles, so vehicles might actually get less expensive because there's an oversupply of new cars, for example. So some things will come down, but overall the dollar will lose its value. And in certain areas, I wouldn't be surprised if it reaches 50%. It already said in all areas, but perhaps in food. Have you been to restaurants recently? Have you noticed restaurant prices going through the roof? I was at a restaurant the other day. There was it's kind of like an Asian food restaurant. And there's a certain meal there that I recall being $20, and now it's $29.95. So that's a 50% increase. And I think that happened in 1 year. Just an example. And maybe in another year, that meal will be $45 for one dinner. Wow. Okay, next item. 2023 was the year that we saw the rise of AI, artificial intelligence. This was the year that GPT 4.0 was released, and all the other big tech companies began releasing their models, like Gemini, I think is Google's model, and let's see, Orca 2 from Microsoft. Amazon has its AI models, its agents. One of them is called Q. It will take over your work for you. Yeah, and then Microsoft has its AutoGen as well, which is like a operating system software agent. You can give it commands and tell it what to do. You have to give it access to all your email, all your passwords, files, and everything, and it'll do stuff for you. But 2023 was the year that AI systems from these large corporations, which let's talk about OpenAI in particular, ChatGPT. This was the year that those systems exceeded the intelligence of the average human being. So ChatGPT 4.0, and by the way, 5.0 is coming shortly. 4.0 is smarter than the average human being. It can pass the bar exam. It can be an attorney. It can pass medical exams without studying. You just give it the exams and then answers enough questions correctly to pass the exam. It can write emails, write marketing plans, and write poetry. It can generate images. It can translate text. It can transcribe videos into text. It can speak, I don't know how many languages, dozens of different languages. And it can listen to those languages. It can write computer code, including Python code, which means it can rewrite itself also. And all of this happened in 2023. The pace of acceleration of AI and machine learning is so rapid that I guarantee you, probably, I would say 90% of the people listening to this still don't really grasp what has already happened. And I've been trying to hammer this a little bit, but not enough. I'm barely keeping up with it. But remember a couple weeks ago, I did a podcast and I said, right now, today, 50% of the white-collar jobs in America are obsolete. It's just that the people who have those jobs don't yet know it. Because the AI tools that are available right now, eventually some of them like Q from Amazon, AutoGen, and other tools, they make 50% of the desk jobs obsolete. And a couple more years down the road, when humanoid robots roll out, then 50% of the labor force will also be obsolete. We also pointed out this year that it's no coincidence that the globalists are pushing human depopulation at the same time that AI machines are becoming average than the smarter human. Because, the conclusion is obvious. The globalists realize, they realized this long ago, that they don't need 8 billion human beings. And today is the day, by the way, that there are officially 8 billion human beings on this planet. This is the highest number we will reach, probably forever. And this is it. This is peak human population. Because the depopulation efforts that will be unleashed against humanity will, over the next, 7 to 10 years, let's say, kill anywhere from, what's my estimate, 1 to 4 billion people. 10 years down the road, you're not going to be saying the human population is 8 billion. You might be saying, it's 6 billion. Or 4. Or the globalists get their way, it's down to 1. Or half a billion. depopulation that is accelerating now through multiple vectors, biological weapons, radiological weapons, pesticides, herbicides, mass famine, starvation, maybe EP weapons, whatever it is. War, collapse of society, financial collapse. It is designed to eliminate humans at the same time that AI systems are able to take their place. This is not a coincidence. This is a blueprint. And we're living it. And still, at this moment, the vast majority of human beings have no idea what has happened. And, there was a realization that I had on all this because I'm building a large language model that is called LLM, which is an AI system that will have special knowledge in the area of nutrition, human foods, and herbs, and so on. And my plan is to release that in the first rendition at the end of March. And I don't know, I'm kind of on schedule. I think I'll be able to make that deadline. But I'm going to release additional models throughout the year. Anyway, these will be free for you to download. You can run them locally on your own machines, Macs, as well as PCs and Linux. And you'll be able to use it as an experimental research type of engine. You'll be able to ask any questions like, what are the phytonutrients found in blueberries? And how might they benefit human health, for example? Things like that. Or what's the easiest way to grow tomatoes in poor soils? Or what's the best recipe for making compost? Things like that. You'll be able to ask them questions. And it'll have this massive knowledge base of information and just regurgitate that back out to you, which is what these LLMs do. And as I was learning about LLMs and the process necessary to train them, which is called fine-tuning, by the way, which updates the parameters of the language models, I realized that these language models, they just regurgitate whatever they've been taught without thinking about it. They don't reason, they don't have rationality, and they don't have instructions. They don't follow instructions. There's no logic engine inside a large language model. It's simply spitting out a stream of words based on probabilities and a hyperdimensional array of how the previous words and phrases are related to its prediction of the next word that it's going to spit out. Really, that's how it works. There's no logic, no reason, nothing of the kind. And I realized that the oblivious masses of human beings work exactly the same way. They are bio-LLMs, or biological large language models. They just spit out and they regurgitate words that were programmed into them from CNN or the New York Times or NPR or whatever, their time friends telling them, that's so great, and so they just regurgitate it, that's so great. And I realized there's literally no difference between a large language model AI system and the oblivious masses, who I also call NPCs, people who have no actual thinking capabilities. They don't reason, just like LLMs don't reason. These NPC humans, they don't have logic, just like the LLMs don't have logic. And by the way, LLMs, they screw up math all the time, just like NPCs. And I also call these NPCs PLFs, programmable life forms. You've heard me use that term. But I realize that the vast majority of these oblivious masses of human beings, they really are instantly replaceable by large language models in terms of their contributions to our planet, which is essentially nil. They contribute nothing to our world. They can speak and regurgitate words. And you can find them in Mark Dice videos, by the way, answering questions. Man on the street type videos, when they say, like, what continent are we on right now? Some people standing up in Venice Beach in California, they will answer, Antarctica, they're insane. But they're also totally replaceable. That replacement, folks, this year, 2024, this is the year that the replacement of human beings kicks into, high gear. This is it. You're going to see extermination, acceleration through 2024 and 25 and so on, like you've never seen before. There's going to be a whole lot of parking spaces available by the year 2030. Real estate's going to get dirt cheap. You're going to be able to have a home just by deciding to just occupy it. There'll be so many homes and so many commercial buildings that are completely empty because there'll be so few people remaining. This is going to change the entire economy of society as you know it, and I'll be surprised if the United States of America, as we know it, survives this, which is why I have predicted now for more than 5 years that the United States of America will cease to exist as we know it and how it's structured by the end of 2025. Okay, next item that we learned in 2023 is that NATO has been defeated by Russia. Yeah, and NATO means the United States because the U.S. runs NATO and funds NATO, and so in essence, the U.S. has been defeated by Russia in Ukraine. And all those promises of Ukraine's counteroffensive and we're going to be in Crimea by the summer, yeah, it was all BS. It was all propaganda. We talked about it. Russia has emerged from this stronger than ever, stronger economy, very strong industrial output, a strong currency, a strong culture, strong international trading partners. But what is the U.S. and Western Europe being shown to be? Weak, evil, is willing to sacrifice hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian lives to try to weaken Russia's economy. An incompetent clown show. Did you see this now? This transgender space force, I don't know what rank, doesn't matter, clown admiral or whatever, with all these decorations on her or his. I don't even know what gender this person is supposed to be. It's a total option. But wearing a military uniform with all these ribbons and awards and medals and all this stuff. And, the only space that this Space Force admiral seems to want to talk about is the space between her legs. It's a clown show. America's military has become the laughing stock of the world. America's military leaders are seen by the rest of the world as insane asylum lunatics. It's beyond a joke. It's beyond insulting. It's dangerous to the very existence of our country. Russia's military, which is now, right now, the strongest active duty military in the world, they are not afraid of America's military. Even in the land war, even if America sent 500,000 troops, which it can't. The U.S. can't send 500,000 troops to Ukraine, even if they wanted. It wouldn't happen. But even if they did, by the way, the U.S. troops wouldn't be able to fight even nearly as well as Ukrainian troops have fought. And Ukrainian troops haven't been able to defeat Russia either. The American military, and it saddens me to say this, because I support our veterans, and all the guys that I know from the military are real hardcore Americans. They love America. And they want to fight to defend America, and they're fed up with what the military has become. The older guys, the retired guys especially, they're completely fed up with it. But the vast majority of these younger, new recruits, they can't fight, they can't run. They're obese, they're out of shape, they have no, I don't know, they're just not tough people. They're not soldiers. And they would be defeated on the battlefield just like that by the Russian soldiers who are legit, real soldiers. If the U.S. goes up against Russia in a land war, the U.S. gets annihilated. And that has become clear over the last year. So, of course, the U.S. Navy resorts to sinking some Yemen boats. Let's sink some Yemenese boats just to prove that we can still shoot something. That's what they've done over the last couple of days. Or, let's launch a cruise missile at a ship in a shipyard in Russia, a ship that was already damaged, that's irrelevant to the war, and then blow it up and say, we're winning, it's victory, we blew up a Russian ship. That ship was already damaged. That ship was already knocked out of the war. So you blew up a ship that didn't matter. Nice job. I mean, No wonder Russia wasn't bothering to defend it with anti-air defenses there. They're thinking only an idiot would even try to blow up this ship. This ship is basically a junker anyway. And you know what else we've learned this year is that all of the Western nations combined can't produce even a fraction of the military munitions of Russia by itself. Seriously, you take all the output of the United States and the United Kingdom and Germany and France, all of them. It's nothing compared to what Russia can produce. Artillery, missiles, tanks, you name it. The entire British army, by the way, we learned, would last, about 6 days against the Russians. Then they would be completely out of ammo. Same thing with the German military, which is also run by LGBT. The German military has become the laughing stock of Western Europe in terms of its military capabilities. All they want to do is field bisexuals and transgenders. And their industry is shot. The German economy is collapsing. The German leadership are just a bunch of German-speaking libtards. At this point, they've abandoned their industrial base. They have no domestic energy that's going to serve them to restore their industrial base. And they've abandoned everything. The German culture has just committed suicide. This is one of the reasons why you can't get parts for any of your German cars. By the way, there's almost nobody left to make them. The British are even more of a joke in terms of their military. I mean, to think that the British Empire once ruled the world. The British pound sterling, was the currency of the world, and it's history. And Great Britain is history. Western Europe is history. You're watching the end of Western civilization. These next couple of years are going to show you this on steroids. You're going to see that Western Europe completely overrun and the United States completely overrun by illegals. The existing citizens are just going to be slaughtered and exterminated and replaced. And this is what we're watching roll out right in front of us. As the average NPC out there is just completely clueless as to what's happening. They're like, oh, you're just pushing scary talk. It's just scary talk. Everything's going to be fine. And then, okay. And make a life on that and see how that goes. Because the next point in my list today is that we also realize in 2023 that the border invasion has now passed the tipping point. We're past the tipping point. There is no longer a United States of America as we once knew it. It's toast. And in watching this, we learned that the United States of America has lost any ability to defend itself, to maintain itself as a sovereign nation. That the traitors in Washington, D.C. are so compromised that they can't manage to even build a border wall or defend our own border, although they can send $100+ billion to Ukraine to claim to defend Ukraine's borders. They can send billions and half the Navy to the Mediterranean Sea to defend Israel's borders, because of course Israel's the most important nation in the world to the United States government, and America is the least important nation to those traitors. But they can't do a damn thing to defend the border of the United States of America. So this is the end of the U.S. empire. Now it's going to take time for the end to play out, but we do not return from this. It was actually very clear in 2020 with the rigged election that this was the end. And as I've said before, the 2024 election, if we even have that, they can't save America. I mean, I know there's a lot of Trump fans out there who say, well, Trump gets in, he can turn it all around. I got it. It's done. The dollar's done. The invasion has already happened. We're talking about 300,000 a month coming into the U.S. right now. And under Biden, all these invaders are probably going to get activated sometime before the election. And especially if the Democrats believe that they can't win it, or they can't even rig it. If they get desperate enough, they'll just issue the activation orders, and then you're going to have, I don't know, 3 to 5 million illegal combatants inside the United States, picking up weapons and just mass murdering every American they can find, destroying, infrastructure all across the country. That trailer we showed you for that new film, Civil War, we talked about West versus East. I think that's wrong. It's not going to be West versus East. It's going to be the illegals versus the American people, and it's going to be everywhere. In every county, every city, every state, all across America. There's going to be an uprising of enemy combatants right in your town. And they're going to go shoot up the police station, or they're going to murder the mayor, or they're going to take down the power grid, the substations, and they're going to bomb the railroads and block the roads and set fires at food warehouses and anything they can. They're going to blow up refineries and sabotage ports and anything they can do. Good thing the Democrats wanted to take away all the guns from the American people, huh? And made ammo really difficult to buy. Good thing the ATF banned arm races, just to make sure the American people can't fight back, you see. That's what it's always been about. Always. It's keeping the American people defenseless as the invaders are placed across America, waiting activation orders to destroy America from within. If that moment, that activation day, if that doesn't happen in 2024, it will for sure happen in 2025. I think that we are holding that back to see if they mean it or not. Now, if Trump gets elected, then they're definitely going to unleash this in order to try to stop Trump from being able to govern. And if Trump looks like he's going to win, and they feel like they can't rig the elections enough, they will unleash this force in order to stop the elections and declare a national emergency and ultimately military rule and so on. At that point, then we're definitely going to get secession. Texas and other states will secede, and then you'll have a different kind of civil war at that time. And also the financial collapse of Washington, D.C., which that's going to get interesting because how does Washington, D.C. pay for anything when the dollar collapses? You see, I don't think D.C. is going to be very powerful for much longer because the currency will be useless because the rest of the world will ban the currency. So in other words, the U.S. government can't just print money and then get other nations to buy that debt. Those nations are going to say, no, we're done buying your debt, your worthless debt. And your country's a clown show, your military is a clown show. You got no future. You can't pay back your debts. That's what the rest of the world is going to say. And I think that realization also hit home in the rest of the world over the last year. You're going to see it in spades in 2024 and beyond. Okay, the next point here is, this is a positive point, is that there has been a massive awakening over the last year. 2023 was a year when more and more people realized that, hey, our governments are actually trying to kill us. They're trying to kill us with vaccines, they're trying to kill us through infrastructure sabotage. They're literally trying to shut off our energy and our food and farms, especially in Europe. It's like, wait a second. In the Netherlands, and UK, and Ireland, and other places, our governments are trying to starve us to death. Our governments are trying to shut down the energy infrastructure that keeps society alive. The energy that heats our homes. The fuels that allow us to drive vehicles. Our governments are on an extermination agenda. Not to mention pesticides and herbicides and all the toxins that are allowed in the food supply and all the toxic medications that are being pushed on people. And of course, government is also involved in extreme censorship against the truth on all these issues. So the governments of the world colluded with big tech to demand that certain voices, such as mine, be silenced and deplatformed maliciously, unconstitutionally. And actually, that brings me to my next point, which is in 2023, we saw a major pushback against censorship. Now, it doesn't have a lot of traction yet. Elon Musk taking over Twitter, renaming it X, reactivated Alex Jones. Tucker Carlson went over to X. It's had huge success. And that's powerful. That's all great news. I'm really glad Tucker Carlson is doing that. But in 2023, there were certain lawsuits, certain discovery, and certain FOIA documents that came out that will be used in lawsuits against big tech in 2024. The reason I know this is because my company is filing a wave of these lawsuits, and what we have uncovered, with the help of other previous lawsuits, is a series of smoking gun documents that leave no doubt whatsoever that our government and our Department of Defense colluded with tech platforms to silence the voices of the American people, which is blatantly unconstitutional. We have so many smoking gun documents that if we open them all up, we would be able to breathe in the room. Once this makes its way through the court system, there's no question that there will be a huge wave of decisions condemning the government's actions and prohibiting the government from carrying out more censorship. Unless the government can manage to start World War III or start a civil war and have one big giant emergency and so on, in which case they can probably get away with doing whatever they want. Oh, that reminds me, by the way, that the emergency channel that we are going to use to be able to reach you, in case the internet kill switch is activated, which will take down all the domain names of alternative media, the emergency channel we're using is Bastion. So write this down. Go to bastion.com. Bastion. Think of it as Bastion. It's spelled the same as Michael John. His last name pointed in. Bastion.com. You go there, you download their app. It's a decentralized peer-to-peer app. It does not need domain names to work. And it has no central servers. And it is uncensorable. You download it and run it, and seek me out there. My username is @HealthRanger, as you might imagine. And in an emergency, I'm using that to get the word out to you. You see, the government won't be blocking TCP/IP. They won't block basic core underlying protocols of the internet. They're blocking domain names. The domains that are most people to read. And they'll claim it's a national emergency. So we'll be using Bastion to reach you with emergency orders and updates and intel and whatever else, because I'm connected to a whole lot of people via satellite phones and other contacts. I'll be able to get you a lot of intel. So if you want to be able to get that, again, go to bastion.com, download it, run it, set up your own username there. It works just like Twitter, basically, but it's completely decentralized. And even the creators of Bastion can't censor people on Bastion. That's what's amazing. Censorship isn't possible. You can't be deplatformed from Bastion. It's structurally impossible. Okay. So we're going to see a lot of court cases in 2024. And even though those will take some time to get resolved, we are going to see things, especially if Trump gets elected, that happens. There will be more pushback against censorship from the Trump camp, I would imagine. And we'll see a lot of action in that arena that I think will have a positive outcome. Now, speaking of Trump, this is my next point. And you know my thoughts on Trump. I've got real issues with Trump on many things. 2023, I think, was the year that millions of Americans realized that they miss Trump. They want him back. They don't even care about the orange hair, the mean tweets. They just want him back because they want America back the way it was under Trump. They want more affordable food and energy. They want to get us out of these wars. They want freedom and liberty. I'm not saying that Trump isn't the perfect person to deliver all that, but he's not a Democrat, and he's not a Biden, and he's not a Biden. But that said a lot now. He does appear to be a puppet of Israel, by the way. And then one of my points here is that what we realize in 2023 is that the entire U.S. government is a puppet of Israel, and Trump is no exception to that. So Trump appears to put Israel first ahead of America, just like everybody else. That's one of the issues that I have with Trump. And the other issues are, of course, pushing vaccines, Operation Warp Speed, being in bed with Pfizer, And also, just the whole idea that Trump just repeatedly surrounded himself with traitors and backstabbers like Jeff Sessions and Bill Barr and James Comey of the FBI and so on. And he just did the worst job choosing people that would carry out what he wanted to achieve. And so when Trump promised, drain the swamp, lock her up, and build a wall, that was back in 2016. He couldn't get any of that done because he chose traitors to work with him in the White House. So if Trump gets elected again, he's going to have to, of course, take a whole new approach to that. And I would say, do not bring in anyone who lives anywhere near Virginia, Connecticut, New York, Washington, D.C., the entire East Coast. You should just ban anybody from the East Coast from working in your administration. You want to get real Americans in there? Fly out to Iowa, Indiana, Utah, Arizona, Idaho. Get some people from Wyoming in there. Get some people from Texas, Arkansas, Mississippi, Kansas, and of course Oklahoma, Missouri, and so on. We've got so many great candidates. You want an attorney general in the DOJ? They'll probably get an AG from Missouri, as well as Paxton from Texas. Either one of those men would be fantastic candidates. You want a new head of the FBI? No problem. There's all kinds of great people in real America. You got to stop picking people who live in the Washington bubble. But Trump, of course, came out of the New York bubble. So Trump's kind of been in this bubble his whole life. That's one of the issues, one of the challenges with Trump. But nevertheless, if he does a good job choosing better people, he could turn this country around to some extent. I don't know that he can save it, but he can certainly soften the landing. I would much rather have a national emergency with Trump as president than Biden or the corpse of John McCain as president. Oh my goodness. So think about that when it comes to voting day. And now, one more final realization to kind of summarize all this. You know how I mentioned the collapse of dollar earlier? But there was a big realization in 2023 that even went mainstream about the push for CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. It has become apparent to a great many people that cash is going to be outlawed at some point, and people are going to be forced into a digital currency system run by the central banks, run by the government, enforced, where all your transactions are spied upon, you have no privacy, you have no right to buy what you want, you're going to be completely controlled and surveilled. And in order to participate in this system, you also need to market your piece, like an RFID chip or some kind of tattoo or something, who knows what it's going to be. Or maybe it's just your mobile phone that you carry around, tracking you all day long anyway. This push is coming, and people are going to realize that they need off-grid parallel monetary systems in order to defend their freedom. So over this last year, I launched my new show, Decentralized TV, which you can find all the episodes at decentralized.tv. My co-host Tom Bitter, and we've done over 25 interviews, actually done more than 30, but 25 or so are posted. And we've explored decentralized systems for information and for money, which includes private crypto, by the way. And I've also done a lot of lab work this year with gold backs, so looking at the actual gold content found in gold backs, and proving how much gold they contain, which is more than they even claim, proving that it's better than 24 karat gold. So I talked about gold coins and silver coins and all of it. So let me give you a few things to check out here. First, in terms of gold backs, the response I've received on gold backs has been hugely positive. People love the visibility and the instant utility of gold backs. These are beautifully designed, golden covered bills that contain actual physical 24 karat gold embedded in every bill. And you can get them as small as 1/1000 of an ounce or as high as 51 thousandths of an ounce. So if you want to see all my lab results or get these yourself, go to my affiliate website, which is verifiedgoldbacks.com. It's spelled just like it sounds. verifiedgoldbacks.com. You'll see all my lab test results with the mass spectrometry test, and they gravimetric test that until that they melt down that they can build extraction and recovery. I showed you all the results, all the numbers, and then also did an acid stellar test on these things are legit. Now they're more expensive than just little coins in terms of the gold content that you get, but they're highly divisible and usable. People love the fact that you can just pull out a bill over here's $1,000 pounds, so here's 5 1,000 ounce. And I've given so many of these away. I've given them to family and friends. I've given them as tips at restaurants. I gave some to the chef and everything. And everybody loves these things. They go berserk over them, actually. I mean, for some reason, especially women, they love to see gold and hold gold. They love to hold on to it. And people really, really value this. It's the most beautiful form of spendable, invisible gold that they've ever seen. And these are great in a grid down scenario. Because if the internet goes down and the dollar collapses and your banks are offline, you need a spendable form of actual value. And gold backs work really well for that. You can also get gold and silver coins. And gold coins work for really large purchases, like you're buying a business, you're buying a vehicle, or buying a ranch, or whatever. Because every gold coin, every ounce is worth $2,100 plus. And silver coins are great too, but they get really bulky when you try to have a lot of money, and silver coin is really, really heavy. Because they don't really have high density and value per ounce of a coin. If you want gold and silver coins, they do have their use, and they're instantly recognizable by everyone. Our sponsor in that space is the Treasure Island Coins and Precious Metals Company. You can find it through my page at metalswithmike.com. There you can get real-time quotes. You don't have to wait. You don't have to just get a phone call. You just go there and get real-time quotes of what they're charging today for gold and silver coins of various bits, including US bits or other bits around the world, that will be delivered to you securely, discreetly, insured, and get gold and silver into your hands. And the other thing that the Treasure Island Company can give you is so-called junk silver, silver called constitutional silver. So these are the older US beers, silver, dimes and quarters, some $1/2, and nickels. They're about 90% silver. They're pre-1965 ones. So a lot of people use these as something that uses payment or barter in a collapse scenario. So you can check those out again, metalswithmike.com. I don't know if the banking system is going to collapse in 2024, but it doesn't have much longer to survive. The dollar doesn't have much longer. I can't pick a date. Don't have a crystal ball on that. But I know that the governments of the world are at war with their people. And collapsing the financial system is, from their point of view, one of the most effective ways to cause mass starvation, collapse, chaos, all the things they work. They're at war with you. And so, if you have real assets, gold and silver, gold backs, ammo, garden seeds, all these things that we value, and you're going to be in much better shape. Oh, I forgot to mention, we have our seed kits now at healthrangerstore.com, as well as our long-term store with certified organic food, freeze-dried fruits and vegetables, and our Ranger buckets, mini buckets, mega buckets. Just go to healthrangerstore.com and search for buckets. You'll find all the food we have available. Or search for freeze-dried, and you'll see all the fruits and vegetables we have. We have a lot more there as well, including ARC seed kits. So if you just search for seed kits, or you can search for knives. You can find survival knives. Every code is not with awesome knives. So those are all some resources that you can use to help keep yourself alive no matter what happens in 2024 or 2025. I do expect that by the year 2030, I'll be living in the Republic of Texas. And I'm not moving, right? I don't think that I'm going to be a U.S. citizen by the year 2030 because I don't think the U.S. will cease to exist. At least as currently structured, right? Texas will probably secede at some point, which is going to be necessary. A lot of states will be forced to secede. I don't think that's going to happen in the next year. for the next 7 to 10 years, or if not, 2, 3, if you have Steve Quill, it might be 6 months from now. None of us know for sure when it's going to happen, we just know we need to get prepared. Those who are well prepared can survive this. We can navigate these obstacles. And we can defeat these long-term Nazi fascists who are currently in power. We can defeat them. And we can restore the spirit of America in a new form, whatever that looks like. What if we had honest money, for example? What if we didn't have a central bank that could just keep printing to oblivion? And it's using that money, weaponizing it against the people, which I'm going to complicate their lives, LGBT agendas, to fund the actual invasion of the United States by illegals. U.S. funds those invasion camps, by the way. Our money is being used against us to destroy our nation. What if that were no longer possible? After this fascist regime is defeated, and we rebuild a nation based on honest principles, it has to include honest money. And honest money would be probably a gold-backed currency that cannot just be printed out of thin air by the government. If it makes sense on the gold standard in 1971. And since then, the money printing has gone insane, leading to the end of the U.S. Empire. We are witnessing the end. Don't kid yourself. It's not coming back. It's not going to be safe. We're not turning this thing back around. No. You're going to have to ride out the end of the U.S. Empire. And then building the next society, which has to be based on some form of honest money. Which is interesting because, Bitcoin is also honest money. Because Bitcoin can't be counterfeited. Not by anyone, including any government. You can't counterfeit Bitcoin because if you could, you have zero value. And also, of course, cryptography, all kinds of blockchain technology. So you can't counterfeit Bitcoin. Why would you hold dollars at all today? Why would you hold dollars in a bank or dollars in your pocket or dollars in an investment? No, the government can counterfeit those dollars. You haven't heard that the government can just create them out of thin air. That's a dishonest system. It's a dishonest ledger. Why would you participate in that? You know you're getting ripped off every single day. Whereas, if you have your assets in Bitcoin, gold, or goldbacks, or land, whatever, governments can't create those things out of nothing. You might say, oh, governments can create gold coins. Yeah, but they can't create gold out of nothing. They have to go mine it. And the process of mining gold creates scarcity. You have to put energy into mining gold to get gold out. Which means they can't create gold from nothing. Just like they can't create Bitcoin from nothing. And in terms of privacy coins, I'm a big fan of Monero. And we talk about other privacy coins on our show. Decentralized.tv. There's there's Firo, there's Epic Cash. We just did the Ripple. There are other privacy coins and other projects out there. Xano, is one project that they do. Xano currency. There are many forms of monetary exchange that governments can't fudge, they can't cheat. I don't know about you, but I'm betting my assets on things that governments can't counterfeit. And that includes gold and silver, goldbacks, crypto, land, bullets, I don't know, diesel fuel, things that they can't just print out of thin air. The people left holding the things that governments can counterfeit will be left with nothing. They will die penniless on the streets, homeless, victims of their own government arrogance and fiscal criminality that brought their nation to its knees. And that's the chapter of history that millions of Americans right now are about to live through, and they have no freaking idea that that's coming. 2024 is going to hit the average oblivious American like a freight train to the face. They're not even going to know what happens. Splatter effect. They don't have no clue what they're doing because they're going to lose everything. And they won't even know why. Because instead of listening to this podcast, So they're completely uninformed about what's happening to shape the actual world around them. That's why I appreciate the fact that you listen to this and that we share knowledge about what's happening, which, of course, enables us to survive what's coming. So my promise to you in 2024 is that I will do my best to continue to bring you this podcast. Even if it's through listening channels like Bastion, like I mentioned earlier, I'm bringing this podcast. As best I can. I'm going to do interviews as best I can. I'm able to do some interview schedules online, but that's necessary for me to work on my AI and my climate policies, which is also a very important tool that we will release in your hands. I'll do the best I can to bring you this information, empower you with this knowledge, and help you get through what's coming. And it's worth pointing out a milestone here. I began this podcast, which was initially called Situation Update, right after the election was stolen in 2020. So, in fact, I've been doing this podcast now for 3+ years. I thought I was going to do this podcast initially for maybe 60 days. It's because I thought about the election rigging that we overturned. I thought that the traitors would be caught. I honestly believed in December of 2020 and early January of 2021, I thought that we had all this looking evidence. We saw it, it was all on video. Now it's nothing. The suitcases rolled out. The windows taken out. Don't look in here. We're still in the election. I thought we were going to overturn this thing. Here we are 3 years later. And things have gotten so much worse. We're living in an authoritarian hellhole of a collapsing nation run by transgender clowns, senile, lunatic morons and fascists, and racist, genocidal State Department leaders who want to take us into World War III with nuclear weapons with Russia. We are in such a worse situation now compared to where we were a few years ago. It's embarrassing. So it looks like I'm going to be ready to another year, if not longer. We can stay on the air another year. So that's what I'm committed to doing, as long as we can stay viable. And I fully expect that sometime this year, there will be a black swan event. It will be probably a false flag. It will be real big. And it's going to take down the banking system or the power grid for some duration of time. It's going to be a big emergency that is engineered for the powers of being. And they're going to try to use that big emergency to cancel the election, declare martial law, confiscate weapons, shut off alternative media websites, and seize total dictatorial control over the United States of America. And that act of desperation by the Democrats will lead to the real civil war, whatever it happens. And at that point, states like Texas will have to declare independence. And they will. And the real game to begin. That's what your dollars will be totally worthless overnight. You'll have to trade in gold for like a new Texas currency, or wherever you are. New currency in Idaho, new currency in Eastern Oregon. Eastern Oregon will secede from Portland, Eastern Washington State will secede from the Seattle militants in Eastern California, and Northern California will secede from the militants in LA and Sacramento. This whole country is about to be redrawn. The so-called battle lines are very clear. It's going to be real Americans, people like you and I, who respect the Constitution. We have reason and rationality. We support life. We support the freedom to speak. We support honest, transparent elections. We support defending our borders and so on. It's us versus left-wing militant traitors who want to mutilate babies, who want to parade around like training admirals in Space Force all day. They want to send us into oblivion. They want to start wars with Russia and China, Yemen now, who knows who else. They want to see America overrun by illegals and destroyed from within, because that's the goal they worked towards this entire time. They are traitors to America, and they will fight tooth and nail to take this country down from within. That's how the sides of propaganda run, in my estimation. And then again, this entire podcast is nothing but satire and entertainment, right? Shouldn't take anything seriously what I'm saying here. Maybe I'm just hard living. That's my take then. From highlights of 2023, those organizations. This is not a bright, shiny silver podcast, but this is, I think, an accurate, honest description of where we are. I fold out a big map for you. It's the kind of the fall of the U.S. Empire, and there's a red dot and it says you are here. I just described that for you. That's where we are. You all know we're at the point, the fall of the empire. The darkest years are ahead of us. We can't get through them. One day we can put those years behind us. But let's not fall for any delusional beliefs thinking that next year's going to be better. It's not. It's going to be 10 times worse. 25, probably worse than that. But if we hold to our values and hold to our courage, our principles, we cannot defeat these anti-American fascist lunatics and mutilate children and murder unborn children. We can defeat them with ballot bombs. We can defeat them in the public space, debate, speech, and ideas. We can remove them from power and restore sanity for the future whenever a new nation rises out of the ashes of this fallen empire. We call that the America or what? The Republic of Texas, or whatever it is, I'm glad to help rebuild it based on principles of liberty, honesty, God, and reason. That's my take, and that's what we're going to do over the next few years in Congress. Thank you for all your support. Visit us at healthanderstore.com if you want to support us directly. Make some purchases. Goes to funding all the projects I'm working on. And our platforms like Brighttown TV, as well as brighttownradio.com and brighttown.social. Be sure to find out more and participate in these uncensored conversations about what's happening in our world. And that said, Happy New Year. On top of that, leave with a positive note. Happy New Year. Yeah, listen to this again. You want to have a really happy New Year. You should be happy. You know what's coming. Honestly, a lot of people don't know what's coming. They're going to be happy with my kids. Thanks for listening, everybody. God bless you all. All right, back in stock at the Health Store. We now have set by organic lab tests. Milk powder, also coconut products. Again, those back in stock. We've got some other things we should look at. We got milk powder number 10 cans with great long-term storage. Also, clear. We also have milk. It's got milk. Options that we have. Coconut milk. Options to all those people that have options. I use both of these. Great long-term store items. Great other items. Both of them on healthanderstore.com. Along with other options. Check this out. We also have a new organic super endo semi-evidence powder, which is great. This is a blend of 6 organic berry and vegetable powders. It's high in antioxidants, which are the purple differences in quality of the panel. Restore the product. Restore the product. Also, of course, lab tests for what is in the website, see all the other products that we have. New red juice powder. Organic base at the top. Iodine less glycerin, by the way. These people with organic powder, like milk, iodine. Then we have to do hydrogen elementals, which is organic water with aqua. Very popular mineral supplement. All on the planet, more than this doesn't comes back. And that would completely clean the supplements that we eat out. Should be clean. And almost everything is certified as well. So check it all out and support healthcare.com. The global reset is coming. And that's why I've recorded the new 9-hour audiobook. It's called The Global Reset Survival Guide. You can download it for free by subscribing to the naturalnews.com email newsletter, which is also free. I'll describe how the monetary system fails. I also cover emergency medicine and first aid and what to die to help avoid infections. So download this guide. It's free. It's my gift to you simply because I want like-minded people to survive. Please do your Christmas shopping at InfoWarsStore.com. Turbo Force is the best 10-hour energy. Nobody else has energy formula like this. It's the very best. Turbo Force, Turbo Force, Turbo Force. So Russia launched over 110 missiles at Ukraine the other night. Not up there, missiles hit Odessa, but also under the sea. Yeah, well, a big barrage. One of the biggest since the war began. But what I hope you understand about this is it's not a great assault by Russia. Almost certainly, this missile attack was designed to defeat Ukraine's anti-air defenses. Nuclear missile attack other systems. Just to use up there, with that point, probably a larger Russian offensive was coming. And so he's throwing missiles at Ukraine to all the aircraft outplane. Knowing that the West has a real supply chain problem when it comes to ammunition for anti-air defense systems. They just don't have enough munitions. They can't make it. Russia is winning the manufacturing war, the supply chain war. And we don't want attrition. Whoever has the most people and the most efficient for the supply chain, the most outlet, typically ends up in war. That's why Russia has some advantage right now versus the West. But there was a far bigger thing that took place during this missile barrage, and that is the fact that Russia launched a missile that flew over Poland. On purpose, critical. It went 40 kilometers into Poland before the Harvey making a U-turn, coming around, hitting Western Ukraine. This was clearly a totally missile trajectory to find out Poland, like NATO, has effective anti-air defenses protecting Poland. And the answer is no. This missile that flew over Poland is not what you think at all. Nothing stopped it. Now, Poland says they tracked it. They say it's a Russian missile. They're confirming all that, but they did not stop it. They say they dispatched a fighter jet to try to interdict it. But apparently that didn't work because the missile did not take it out. So, if you think about what Russia just did from a tactical military point of view, there were two key things. Number one, they included anti-air defense munition, or at least used up some of them that used their own ground Ukraine. And secondly, they were able to determine that Poland did not have good anti-air defense systems. There's none that were effective during this time. And that's very valuable information if you think this war is going to escalate. Because the West wants to escalate to more dramatic. You see the State Department talking about how they want to destroy Russia. And now Lindsey Graham, crazy that Graham, the GOP senator, talking about how he wants to bomb Iran. He's just out there screaming at us, bomb Iran, bomb their oil field, bomb their airports, bomb everything. You're looking at a regime in the United States that is heavily invested in escalation. And Russia needs to know how effective its retaliation strikes would be situation where the West is launching, let's say, nuclear warheads at Russia. Russia needs to know what it's going to be capable of doing in response to that. And I think that's what they just found out. They found out that Poland, these parts of Poland, eastern Poland, are defenseless. Now, that may not hold true for Warsaw or certain military-based areas around Poland. What Russia did was prove that they could push missiles across Polish territory, that Poland would do nothing to stop it. And that's a very big deal. Now, keep in mind also that Russia has, of course, very advanced hypersonic missiles, and these hypersonic systems cannot be intimidated by the enemy. They're unstoppable. So missiles, for example, and then other missiles, it's Iskander, the ICBMs that are actually hypersonic missiles on the enemy. So they have a lot of hypersonic capabilities. And as far as we know, that the West can stop them. So if this does escalate to an exchange of, let's say, nuclear missiles for advantage, clearly that's Russia. And the West has devastating situation of nuclear strikes. Now, I don't think it's going to go there, by the way. I'm just saying that if it did, Russia would actually have the advantageous position if that exchange. Now, in terms of Ukraine itself, and its political infrastructure, it's very clear to me that Zelensky, they are numbered. And there's a lot of infighting, there are assassinations taking place, a lot of documents being issued, especially by Zelensky. So those are the. And one of the things that we learned recently is that Zelensky, president of Ukraine, actually, he really did not respect the change he made to the leadership, bypassed the top general and ordered directly to commanders, and that's the time level for their weapons not in the field. And Zelensky is trying to micromanage war himself, which is always exactly as politicians think they put armchair general. You know, they don't have the experience, they don't have the knowledge, they don't know what to do. And they can give a lot of bad orders. For example, one thing that Zelensky has done this entire time, he said, that I'm going to give up territory. We're going to fight to the last man. Then, you know, this city or this town, fight to the last man. Well, that's actually a horrible strategy. Sometimes you need to have a tactical retreat, not lose the equipment, let the enemy take that position, retreat to a more defensive position, or move and find a different weakness in the lines of that unit. Maybe mount an attack somewhere else. But you can't just keep throwing men at a situation where the losses are mounting up. It could be difficult because at the end of the day, whether you go in a square mile of land there, it's inconsequential to the higher goal of protecting your men. Because you don't have a military domain, you can't defend the game in this fight. It doesn't even matter. So don't waste men defending your plan. The real goal should be destroying the enemy's ability to wage war against you. Whatever that looks like. Sometimes Zelensky never understood that. Again, because he's not a military tactician. He doesn't have experience in nullifying those generals. Anyways, they order troops to be suicide missions. These are horrible ideas. Now, this has created a lot of friction inside the North Carolina. This is why I think ultimately, let's take our numbers, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's actually a military coup in Ukraine or some attempted military assassination of Zelensky. Those are throw him out of power, assassinate him, take over, because he wins some examples for the safety and the viability of the military itself. So, taking a guess, I don't think Zelensky survives another 6 months. I think even close to that, I think he's gone. He's probably dead by that time. So much for all these luxury beachfront homes, all these good countries, all of billions of dollars, probably confiscated. somewhere, he's not going to be around to enjoy it. His lifespan is less than a year at this point. At the same time, all of this is happening, the American people grow weary of funding Ukraine, and also, of course, Congress doesn't want to send it from the GOP side of Congress. So Ukraine is really desperate for funding, not going to get the political support that they're looking for. In fact, it's their new government. So things are going to get very dicey there. I just pray that this war ends. I want to see peace for Ukrainian people. I don't want to see more lives lost. I want to see peace and abundance and consumption and trade. And it's sad to me to see destruction that takes place and lost life. Break out with families and how many spouses have lost their husbands, how many families have lost their sons, children have lost their fathers. The whole thing was unnecessary. But the West wanted to push Ukraine into this as a proxy in order to get Russia to work. Hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians have paid for that mistake for their lives. That is unacceptable. That's a war crime by the West against the people of Ukraine. It's very sad to see that. I hope it ends soon. I hope there's peace and prosperity for the people. If you listen to God this morning, come down and speak. NaturalNews.com. And also come to LifeZone.com. All right, back in stock at the Health Range Store, we now have certified organic lab tested milk powder, also COVID $100. Again, go back in stock. We've got some other things to show you. We got milk powder, number 10 cans, really long-term storage. Also, milk powder. We also have milk that is caffeinated. Pouches that have coconut milk powder as well. That option. I use both of these. These are great long-term football items, great water items. Both available at healthrangerstore.com, along with hundreds of other products that we have. Check this out. We also have our new organic super endosciatic powder, which is great. This is one of the 6 organic dairy and vegetable powders. It's high in endosciates, which are the purple pigments that make quality people will have extraordinary properties. Also, most lab testing for glyphosate and before. And then if you go to the website, you see all these other products that we have. We've got juice powder, organic isotonic iodine, that's glycerin, by the way. It's people who are organic and confident about what they don't know what they're talking about. And then we have to do hydrogen levels. This is organic coconut water with a popular, very popular little supplement. All of this at healthrangerstore.com. In-house lab testing of the world. E-commerce stuff. More rigorous testing in the in-house lab. And that would link you to supplements that we know to be clean. Almost everything certified. So check it all out. Support healthrangerstore.com. The global reset is coming. And that's why I've recorded a new 9-hour audiobook. It's called The Global Reset Survival Guide. You can download it for free by subscribing to the naturalnews.com email newsletter, which is also free. I'll describe how the monetary system fails. I also cover emergency medicine and first aid and what to buy to help avoid infections. So download this guide. It's free. It's my gift to you simply because I want like-minded people to survive. What's why to take on a new award? What's why to find tigers? We're doing it with your support. Plus, we got incredible products. Biggest sell of the year live right now. Infowars.com. Destroy free shipping up to 60% off. Infowars.com. Follow and support. 2024, the year the U.S. federal government's war against the American people is behind the gun. So under the Biden U.S. southern border by the million, bringing in mostly military age males, by the way, not families, not elderly, not just children, but mostly military age males, people who are capable of picking up a rifle and waging war against America from within. And there's no doubt that some of them, not all of them, but many of them have been given exactly those orders. Just infiltrate, occupy, and wait for your command. And that command, I call it Activation Day. It's a national purge attempt. It's going to be a civil war from within, waged largely by those illegals. Now, the Democrats enabled all of this, and quite a few Republicans, the rhinos, went along with it. They wanted wide open borders for some reason. Well, Democrats wanted it because they want illegals to vote. And some of the GOP wanted it because the labor force for the corporation, they give a lot of money to the GOP. So they both have reasons, and then there are the rhinos and the globalists that just want to see America destroyed. Plenty of those in both parties as well. So America has been under attack. Obama did a tremendous amount of damage during his 8 years. Trump sort of hit the pause button on a lot of that damage, but couldn't really reverse it because the whole apparatus was opposed to everything he tried to do, essentially. And now under Biden, he's not even a legitimate president. He didn't even win the election. All rigged, obviously. He's been destroying America at an accelerated pace that is extremely, extremely dangerous. This republic may not survive at all. It's not even clear yet. But when Texas recently enacted a law, and thanks to Governor Abbott, this is now law on the books, which says that law enforcement in Texas can arrest illegals for trespassing. You can be charged with trespassing. The federal government, I believe under the DOJ, is now planning on suing Texas to stop Texas from enforcing that law. Now, how could this be, you ask? Why would the DOJ be opposed to Texas arresting illegals for trespassing when they actually did trespass? They're in Texas illegally. They do not have citizenship or the proper papers or visas to enter Texas. They've crossed the border illegally. They've committed a crime of trespass. The DOJ, which is also trying to block border walls in Arizona and Texas, the DOJ says you can't arrest illegals. You have to let them invade. Seriously, you have to let them invade your country and your state. And there's nothing you're allowed to do to stop it. This is the DOJ saying that they despise the rule of law. This is the DOJ saying that they wholly support, in fact, they demand an ongoing invasion of the United States. And if you oppose that invasion, then you're going to be sued by the DOJ. You're going to be considered a criminal. They will try to put Governor Abbott in prison if they can. They'll try to do to him what they are trying to do to Trump. Now, it'll fail, but if the Democrats and the regime had its way, they would criminalize all their political opponents. Because, again, their entire goal of virtually all the mainstream Democrats is to destroy the United States of America. That's why they're committing total election interference crimes now, taking Trump off the ballot. And that's an assault on democracy. By any person's definition. I mean, that's the kind of thing that dictators would do in banana republic nations. And now it's happening in the United States. And then the U.S. has the gall to run around the world with warships claiming that we are defending democracy against tyrants. Are you kidding me? Under the Democrats and Biden, the U.S., they become the tyrants. They are the dictators. They are the election criminals. They are the evil cabal that relies on threats and coercion in order to accomplish their goals, which are world domination and the destruction of the United States of America as a sovereign republic. Now, in 2024, the war against the American people will be waged with such ferocity by the federal government that it will be the United States illegitimate government, the occupying enemy force in Washington, D.C. under illegitimate fake President Biden. They will wage terrorist attacks against the American people. Those terrorist attacks would include things like Black Swan false flag events, cyber attack on the banking infrastructure, for example, to be blamed on China, North Korea, or Russia, or Iraq. Those four countries are going to get blamed, or some combination of those four. But of course, it's going to be the government itself actually waging these attacks on the American people because the government has become the terrorist organization. It's like the FBI runs around plotting terrorist bombings and then trying to recruit homeless people or some Muslim they can find somewhere, trying to recruit anybody to, please, step into this van and sit in the driver's seat for 30 seconds so we can arrest you for being a terrorist, And then in the van they discover, oh, look, all these plans, you're going to blow up a bridge or something. Yeah, the FBI put it all in there. That's what the FBI does, largely. They certainly don't investigate real criminals like, Hunter Biden and Hillary Clinton and so on. Not a chance. But you're going to see the federal government pull this kind of thing on a much larger scale in 2024. And you're going to see a lot of lives lost as a result. Innocent Americans will be killed in these false flag attacks. And I can already see it coming. And it's going to be, a devastating sequence of events. People will die from starvation. They'll die from exposure. They'll die from the chaos and the violence. Some people will die from the looting and so on. There's going to be an uprising across America's cities. And a lot of it's going to be on purpose because of the illegals that have been placed there strategically in order for them to be activated and wage war against America from within. So the cities are going to burn. And the Democrats are going to blame, Russia or Iran or somebody like that. The Democrats will never take blame themselves for the terrorism that they unleash upon the people. Because the Democrats know they cannot survive in a fair democracy. Because the people will never support them. People don't support their policies, don't appreciate their outcomes. The Democrats can only rule through deception, threats, cheating, fraud, false flag events. I mean, that's how they tried to push gun control all these years. Lots of false flag events. And many more yet to come. Now, what you need to remember about these false flag events is that real people do die in these events. Just because it's a false flag doesn't mean that deaths aren't real. Sadly, many Americans will be victimized in these government false flag attacks. Whether it's a radiological weapon, a dirty bomb, or cyber attack, whatever it is, maybe a nuclear terrorism event, innocent people will die. In fact, that's the point of view of people carrying this out. That's a necessary part of the false flag event, so that there can be a sufficient amount of outrage by the American people. Oh my God, 5,000 Americans were killed, 20,000, whatever it is. And that we use to justify the action that the government wants to take, which might be what Senator Lindsey Graham wants, bombing Iraq. How did they bomb Iran? Well, first they got to get the American people all emotionally whipped up and hate Iran. How do they do that? Well, they just have a total cyber attack on the power grid and then blame Iran for it. And the media blames Iran. Most of the American people don't have a clue what's happening, so they just jump on board and say, Iran did it, let's bomb them. And Lindsey Graham gets her wish. Bomb Iran, bomb Iran. I mean, he's singing that song every day. The guy's a lunatic. The greatest weapon that the government has against its own people is fear. Never forget that. That's what they used during the pandemic. And everybody all terrified of some physical thing they can't even see. They probably didn't even exist to most people. And they got everybody to line up and take a vaccine. They were vaccinating pregnant women and children who have near zero risk from COVID. How do they do all that? Fear. They terrify people. They terrorize people. It's a psychological terrorism operation run by the government, where they complicit media chiming in and just scaring everybody to death, and then falsely claiming that masks will protect you, or lockdowns will save you, or vaccines are safe and effective. They were all lies, deliberate lies. None of that was true. But this is how they get what they want. They lie, they terrorize, and they use fear to shape behavior. And they're going to do exactly the same thing again. The next threat will likely be some kind of cyber attack or a EMP weapon. And it might even be an EMP weapon launched by the United States against itself so that North Korea can be blamed. And I think North Korea is the most likely nation to be blamed in this false flag event because North Korea can't really defend itself. It can't do anything about it. Whereas the U.S. blames Russia, Russia is capable of retaliating, even nuking the United States. Or if the U.S. blames China, China can retaliate in lots of ways, involving trade, exports, not to mention nuclear weapons. So North Korea becomes, I think, a pretty convenient target for the West to blame because North Korea can't really defend itself and can't ultimately threaten the United States. So I would be surprised to see the EMP weapon that the U.S., the United States, above our own country, blames North Korea, and uses the chaos to cancel elections, declare martial law, carry out attempted weapon confiscation all across the country, declare censorship, silence political enemies, crater the banks. I mean, anything they want to do, they use the company. So that's why I would not be surprised to see the United States dropping itself or detonating it altitude. That's a scenario that you should realistically anticipate. Whatever you think is coming, I think Paul is now you understand that your so-called federal government, which again is not even the legit government, they are not your friends. They are waging psychological terrorism operations upon you. They are trying to destroy America. They are demanding the ongoing invasion, occupation of the United States. Almost nobody in Washington, D.C. supports the First Amendment or the Second Amendment or any of the amendments of Bill of Rights or the Constitution. They are tyrants. They are authoritarians. They're fraudsters and cheaters and war criminals and more. They do not represent the American people. And they don't even pretend to support democracy. They're now just saying that they're only going to be allowed to vote for whatever candidates they choose to be allowed on the ballot. That will not include Donald Trump. They're at that point right now. They're not even pretending to support elections at this point. And that's how far gone this is. They're not even pretending. They're just saying you can't vote for Trump. That's it. And they say we're doing this because we have to defend democracy. I mean, the hypocrisy of these tyrants is off the charts insane. And this is why I think Trump will actually win the election if you make it to the election. Because the American people, even those who were fed up with Trump for so long, people who hated Trump's tweets and whatever, including his attention-grabbing attitude about everything, but even they want Trump back. His life was better with Trump. Whether or not you like the guy, you probably have more coin in your pocket. You have less fear. Your life was probably better under Trump. America was certainly stronger under Trump. The military gets it. Law enforcement understands this. All those who are compromised feds, anyway, like the local police, local sheriffs, deputies, and so on, they get it. They all want Trump back. Because Trump is the only one at this point that is willing to work to restore America, defend the border, stop the invasion, deport illegals, as I covered recently, and restore energy abundance to the United States of America so we're not dependent on the Middle East for energy export. Because that situation is a total quagmire. Thanks to lunatics like Lindsey Graham, the likelihood of escalation of war with Iran or other Middle Eastern nations, that likelihood continues to increase each day that Biden is in office. So my advice is very simple. Be ready in 2024. Be ready for your government to wage war against you at a level talk about genetic attacks, radiological attacks, bioweapons attacks, all kinds of psyops and propaganda, censorship, and deliberate takedown of the banking system, power grid. I mean, anything they can do. Instead of defeating Russia or China, the United States government is focused on defeating the American people because they see the American people as their greatest threat. The people and democracy, the will of the people, is seen as the greatest threat to the current regime of power. That's what they're afraid of, is that people might be able to speak their minds and vote with their hearts. Because if the American people are allowed to speak and vote as they wish, the Democrats are done. Done. That's why we have censorship. That's why we have rigged elections. Because Democrats can't stay in power without cheating, threatening, carrying out acts of terrorism against them. And you're going to see the worst examples of that, most dangerous examples, over the next year, actually more than that, the next 2 years at least, in the United States. There's nothing they won't do. There's no number of Americans that they won't kill to stay in power, to reinforce their narratives, and to terrorize the people backing down. They will make most Americans so afraid, so terrified that most people will beg for the government to come save them. Oh, please give me government handouts, government stimulus money, need help from the government. Everything's so bad, because of those dang North Koreans, and they set off that EMP. It's those dorks. They're the bad guys. Our government, they tried to save us. They tried to protect us, but they couldn't stop dorks. So the government's going to help us now, giving us free food and shelter, and all we have to do is give them our government. So we can raise it. We can deal with the human camps. We can be taken care of. All those vaccines are required. We don't have to get up to the vaccine schedule. New boosters are required. Okay, some news going around. I see we have a line up to get shots. We're going to do government stimulus money. But, it's only in the central bank digital currencies. Okay, no problem. I got to scan my forehead and inject my palm with RFID and chip. Okay, no problem. We need the stimulus money. We'll sign up for the system. We got to get shots. We got to get embedded in the palms. We got to get tattooed. We got to agree to not say anything critical about this government. For First Amendment rights, for Second Amendment rights. Anything about the population, probably lose our bank accounts. But it's good because the government's keeping us safe from those evil North Koreans. Like, this is what the typical oblivious Americans want to tell themselves. Because, Stockholm Syndrome, brainwashed into worshiping their captors, worshiping the terrorists that did all this to them. They're not going to do very well. This country, they won't survive their own survival. And this is the most deadly. We're massive operation, so be ready. 24 is going to be the most interesting year of our lives. 25 after that, probably crazier. Get ready for everything. Be prepared. Make sure you live off grid. Making sure that you can survive in that situation. Make sure you can survive terrorism, attacks, dirty bombs, whatever. Just get yourself ready. Because what's going on won't stop now. You're going to see government terrorism on steroids in the next 12 months. No question about it. Thanks for listening. My dad is here at Health Ranger, naturalnews.com, brighthill.com. Thank you for supporting. All right, back in stock at the Health Ranger store, we now have our certified organic lab-tested milk powder and also coconut products. Again, those back in stock. We've got some more guys, so be sure to look at them. We've got milk powder in number 10 cans, which are really great for long-term storage. Also, there. We also have milk, these cow milk pouches, and we have coconut milk powder as well for those of you who want that option. I use both of these. These are great long-term storable items, great other items. Both available at healthrangerstore.com, along with hundreds of other products that we have. Check this out. We also have our new organic super and those cyanidins. This is a blend of 6 organic berry and vegetable powders. It's high in anthocyanins, which are the purple pigment molecule that have extraordinary properties for supporting their health. Also, of course, lab tested for lactate and heavy metals and more. And then if you go through the website, you see all these other products that we have. And these are juice powder, organic lisinopril iodine, that's organic glycerin, by the way, because it's easy for people. These are organic protein powder, like the real protein powder, made with antiseed, vanilla flavours. And then we have this new hydrogen elementals, which is organic coconut water with aquafina, which is a very popular mineral supplement. It's had a pretty good vision on that. All of this at healthrangerstore.com, where we do more in-house lab testing of our own products than any company or any retailer, any e-commerce company on the planet. More rigorous testing right in-house lab, and that we can bring you clean foods and supplements, things that we know to be clean, and almost everything certified as well. So check it all out, and thank you for your support at healthrangerstore.com. A global reset is coming, and that's why I've recorded a new 9-hour audiobook. It's called The Global Reset Survival Guide. You can download it for free by subscribing to the naturalnews.com email newsletter, which is also free. I'll describe how the monetary system fails. I also cover emergency medicine and first aid and what to buy to help you avoid infections. So download this guide. It's free. It's my gift to you, simply because I want like-minded people to survive.